Hello and welcome to Institute for Governance, Policies and Politics online panel discussion on Madhya Pradesh election, where we ask political analysts, what does the heart of India want, change or continuity? I'm Heena Goswami, and joining us today are Professor Sanjay Kumar, Co-Director Lokniti, a research program at Center for Study of Developing Societies, Dr. Vikas Pathak, Deputy Associate Editor, Indian Express, and Dr. Sajjan Kumar, Fellow, Prime Minister's Museum and Library, New Delhi. Welcome, everybody. So, Madhya Pradesh has been a BJP stronghold for past 15-20 years. In last assembly elections, even when Congress begged more seats, BJP still registered a higher vote share. This election, the fight seems close. Dr. Vikas, we'll begin with you. What are the issues driving this election in Madhya Pradesh? And is BJP struggling in face of anti-incumbency headwinds?
The situation there right now is a bit complex because on the one hand, there are some signs of fatigue with the chief minister, some signs, because many people are still pro Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Some people, while do not having a specific complaint, do say that he's been around for too long, around 18 years or so. And there are also people who say that the BJP should win, but they could have a different chief minister. So let me put it this way. One strength of Shivraj Singh Chauhan is that he's still being discussed all over. Of course, not every discussion about him is positive, but there isn't negativity. So what I would say is that his recall value is very high in the state. The recall value of his scheme, largely Behna Yojana, is extremely high. In fact, in all the elections that I've covered over the last 15 odd years, I have never come across a single scheme being discussed in every conversation. So largely Behna scheme in which, women between the age of 21 and 60, if they are not income tax payers or if their family income is below 2.5 lakh per annum, they get 1,250 rupees a month transferred to their account. It has already seen 5 installments. Now they are about to transfer the 6th installment. So the thing is that it is always a good idea for a leader in a state to be discussed a lot. But the flip side, as I said, is that quite a few people said that now it is too long, the Shivraj fatigue factor. So they would not mind if BJP replaces him with another face. They would not mind that. Of course, they would want the largely Behna Yojana to continue. Second thing is that there is a hint of a bit of a disillusionment among young men at times, because and that ironically is because of the scheme, because more than one respondent was a bit sarcastic about the Ladli Behna scheme, saying that there is nothing for young men. Government vacancies are not coming out. Development work, they say, is not very fast. So they say that all he is focusing on is Ladli Behna. And the chief minister himself has made it a point to brand himself as a symbol of women's empowerment. So all that he talks about is Ladli Behna. That apart, everywhere where there's a roadshow of the chief minister or a rally, they'll make it a point. If there's a roadshow, there'll be a stage in which women will be there all over. And in the women, there'll be conspicuously 2 or 3 Muslim women in a burqa. So the way he's branding himself, and he's done that for quite some time now, Mama Shivraj and all that. So he's actually, maxed that effort at branding himself as someone committed to women's empowerment. There's a slight flip side. If you go too far in that direction, particularly among unemployed young men, there might be something that they find disconcerting about it. So the fatigue, actually, despite the fact that the scheme is very popular, the fatigue with Shivraj Singh Chauhan and the BJP in the state, not the BJP at the center, is keeping the Congress very much in the fight. But another thing is there, which I would like to add. Initially, most people that I met said that 5 to 6 months ago, it seemed that the Congress is going to win this election because there was a clear element of fatigue with the BJP. So the BJP also got cues perhaps in Delhi, and they decided to go with a collective leadership. They did not project the sitting chief minister. Now, unlike Chhattisgarh nearby, where Dr. Raman Singh was not projected and he has decided to lie low, Shivraj Singh Chauhan has tried another strategy. He has maximized his efforts at campaign. So it is extremely difficult to catch up with him. I had to try for 2 days to just meet him for 10 minutes, 5 minutes, because he starts off at 9 o'clock in the morning and he returns sometimes to Bhopal to his residence at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the night. So he does around 10 sabhas a day. So he's actually fighting the battle of his life, proving a point to not just the Congress, but also perhaps to his own party, that I have a claim to chief ministership. So that whirlwind tour of Shivraj has actually brought the BJP very much into the fight. So as of now, I think it is a very close contest.
Professor Sanjay Kumar, what are your observations and numbers telling you? Madhya Pradesh is a geographically vast region with diverse communities settled in its various pockets. How are the caste, communities, and the regional cards playing out this election?
Heena, I think Vikas has put it very firmly and very, I think I would absolutely agree to what Vikas has already mentioned. Not that I have been to Madhya Pradesh, I have not been to Madhya Pradesh, but I keep looking at the data which we have gathered from the pre-poll survey. I fully agree that if elections were held, say, 6 months ago, Congress would have definitely registered a victory. But now it's a very, very close fight. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, yes, there is a decline in his popularity, but not to the extent as we have seen for Vasundhara Raje in Rajasthan or Raman Singh in neighboring Chhattisgarh state. So even though BJP is not in a mood to project him as the chief minister, but he still remains very popular. And the kind of hard work which he has been doing for the last 6 months has brought back BJP in a serious contest. But why Congress is in a serious contest? Going back to your basic question of caste community, there's a clear shift among the Adivasis and the Dalits. Muslims are already siding with the Congress, which is not unusual. This always happens that in a bipolar contest, I think this is bound to happen in a bipolar contest between Congress and BJP. But what is keeping Congress in a very close contest? I won't say Congress is ahead or BJP is ahead. I sense which party is ahead. It's a very tight race. But what is making this as a tight race is that the three communities are tilted in favor of Congress, which includes Adivasis, Dalits, and the Muslims. If you look at the upper caste are like siding with the BJP. Again, not unusual because this is what happens in every state. Upper caste vote for BJP in a large number, but a very large number of OBC seems to be divided. So I think close contest, there may be when we are looking at a close contest at the level of the state, but if you look at different regions, you may find different trends and patterns. My own sense is that if you look at the Chambal region, which used to be, where BSP has some presence, and then Jyotiraditya Scindia had some presence in that region. But my own sense is that even though he has shifted, but Congress seems to be doing party in a big way, and that is why we see at the state level it's a close contest. Close contest. If you look at the two chief ministerial candidates between Shivraj Singh Chauhan and Kamal Nath, popularity of both the chief ministerial candidate. No, not the chief ministerial candidate. At least the leader of the two respective parties seems to be very, very equally poised. So again, just to sum up, I think it's a very, very close contest. I don't get head and tail of which party is going to win or which party is ahead at this moment.
Dr. Sajjan, you are at the ground, and the incumbent chief minister has been riding high on the slew of welfare measures that he introduced, particularly the Ladli Behna scheme. So how happy the people are with the chief minister, and do you think that Shivraj Singh Chauhan's not being the face of BJP as the CM candidate will work in favor or against of the party?
Yeah, I mean, with regard to Shivraj Singh Chauhan, there has been a shift in the perception. I mean, until 2 months ago, I'll say, and particularly into the Chambal, Gwalior and Bundelkhand region. If you see, the anti-incumbency seemed so intense that it seemed that Congress just had to be there with the right candidate, and it can walk away with many number of seats. And as you moved from this region to Wagelkhand, that is Rewa, Satna, then you move to the tribal areas bordering Chhattisgarh like Balaghat, Mandla, etc. And then you have regions like Mahakaushal region with the Jabalpur, Chhindwara. Then you come to Malwa region, Indore, etc. And then Bhopal in etc. So until 2 months ago, and as Sanjay sir said, the Chambal, Gwalior, Bundelkhand region, that seemed to be so angry, so disillusioned, that it seemed that they are not looking for any incentive to vote for the other party. It is just that they want to get rid of the incumbent government. But therein also, let me tell you, even 2 months before, if you go for a deeper gaze, you find that anti-incumbency was around 3 levels. One, it was most intense in that region against the incumbent Chief Minister, Shivraj Singh Chauhan. 2, it was thereafter intense against the ministers and the MLAs. And then it was against the party, BJP. Why? Because the moment you asked them a question 2 months back, that what if BJP goes for a change of face? And in that region, of course, there were 2 contenders, either Narendra Singh Tomar, a Thakur who has been contender, or Scindia. And suddenly you find many of the anti-BJP voices, will have a sort of change of perception that, okay, if that happens, that we may think, but this will not happen, etc., etc. So even 2 months back, BJP had this leverage of experimenting with the faces and trying to manage the anti-incumbency into the region wherein it was the most intense. This is one. And even then, mind it, among the collective criticism of Shivraj Singh Chauhan, and perhaps the rightly term, as Vikas sir said, it's fatigue with Shivraj Singh Chauhan, one of the reasons that was pointed out that not he did not work anything or that there is corruption, etc. One of the pointer that was employed to criticize Shivraj Singh Chauhan, that everywhere it is about the Ladli Yojana, be it about the older schemes or the new Ladli Bahan Yojana. And mind it, that time it was just 1 or 2 months back, and therefore people were saying that whenever election happens, he employs these schemes and doesn't care for the unemployment issue or the inflation issue or the corruption issue, some sort of things. But even in that kind of a collective resonance against the incumbent chief minister, you find that a couple of women who we try to interview, you find a dissenting voice, or at least the criticism of the chief minister was not that intense. Now, after 2-3 months, when election is just around the corner on 17th, you find that Ladli Bahan Yojana, even in those regions, has created a ripple among the women. So by not rejecting or replacing Shivraj Singh Chauhan, BJP has done one good thing, that it has retained women as a segment which party is expecting to win in better number than the Congress. This is one. 2, BJP went for another strategy, and which has a resonance on the ground, when they decided to leave the question of chief minister open-ended. Because it is true that the anti-incumbency among the youth and a great number of voters was more against the leaders and chief minister than the party. So what it did, that in different regions, it employed different faces. For example, in Gwalior Chambal region, either it's Narendra Singh Tomar, who is contesting from Dimni seat, in Chambal area, or it could be Jyotiraditya Scindia. Similarly, if you go Mahakaushal region, you have Prahlad Singh Patel from Narsinghpur. Then you go to Malwa region, you have Kailash Vijayvargiya from Indore, one seat, and mind it, these all are tough seats. These are not easy seats. Unlike Rajasthan, wherein Vidya Kumari, Maharani Vidya, what's the name? Vidya Kumari and others, who have given easier seat, which they could win. In Madhya Pradesh, all the bigwigs who have been fielded by the BJP, the seats, for example, Dimni, we cannot say at the moment whether Narendra Singh Tomar is going to win or lose. It's so tough. Indore, one seat is very tough for Kailash Vijayvargiya. Similarly, Narsinghpur is relatively easier. So one, they have been given tough seats, not the easy seats. 2, in every region, what BJP's strategy of employing the top guns has ensured that they are not just expected to win their own seats. Their presence into respective sub-regions has also ensured that 2-3 months ago, when Congress was trying to make it a Kamal Nath versus Shivraj Singh Chauhan, a Kamal Nath who has unanimity in the party. After Scindia left Congress, the factionalism was almost sorted within the Congress, because you have Digvijay Singh versus Kamal Nath, and both have some sort of functional chemistry. So therefore, a clarity of leadership in Congress versus BJP, which was faction ridden, and coming of Scindia rather than the expectation, further complicated the factionalism fight, particularly into the Chambal, Gwalior, Bundelkhand region. So all sort of things, it was seemingly that a Kamal Nath versus Shivraj Singh Chauhan in 15 months versus 18 years sort of campaign, which was finding some resonance. Suddenly employing the top guns in different sub-regions, what it has ensured that it has taken away the edge that Congress has in terms of the settled leadership, and now in every region, the voters who had fatigued with the BJP, particularly with the faces, they are finding some connection, some resonance. So everywhere you go, people on the ground are clear that it may be anyone's game, and it may be the leader who are fielded in from their sub-leader. It could be their chance if they prove right. So BJP in a way managed to tackle the anti-incumbency quite creatively and efficiently. And of all the 4 states, if you see, Telangana, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, and Madhya Pradesh, Telangana is a state wherein BJP committed blunder. Rajasthan is a state wherein BJP is trying to replicate the Madhya Pradesh model, the model of fielding the top guns and trying to tackle the factionalism in the last moment. But the intensity of creativity is less than Madhya Pradesh. And Chhattisgarh is a state wherein BJP simply doesn't want to win. I mean, if you go by their strategy. But it is in Madhya Pradesh wherein you see BJP is really kind of committed, the efficiency, the creativity, all sorts of resources and right kind of input and their employment at the right time, that is working. This is one. Now, coming to Shivraj Singh Chauhan, what BJP has done, and that is obvious, by neither replacing nor projecting Shivraj Singh Chauhan, it has, almost given them, all the leaders, a scenario that prove your mettle in respective regions and then claim your worth for being the chief minister. So therefore, there is a committed support base of Shivraj Singh Chauhan. And that is there. Besides women also, he has some support base among his own caste men and some OBC community in certain regions around Bhopal, Vidisha, etc. So BJP, what it has done, that it has created the factionalism and the challenge quite in a constructive way. And therefore, at present, what we found that except for Chambal, Gwalior, Bundelkhand region, and as Sanjay said, because this is a region where you find the Dalits are in significant numbers. And until recently, until last 2018 elections, BSP at least used to cut away a slice of the Dalit votes. Now, this time with the decline of BSP, automatically those Dalit votes are going to come back to the fold of the Congress, and Jatavs are in significant number. Similarly, in 2018, you have JS Party, and despite that there was a general sense of disillusionment, and therefore the tribals also voted in significant number to the Congress. This time also, despite Gondwana Party and others, tribal tilt towards the Congress is there. So demographic factor is there. But what has projected and brought election to a completely close fight is the fact that BJP, while it retained the upper caste, it managed to have or rebuild the resonance with the OBCs who call the shot in the state. And that is why at this moment, the election is too close to call. But in terms of the intensity and strategy, certainly of the 4 states, you have to give it to BJP that whoever the strategist is among all the 4 states, Madhya Pradesh's strategy and the spirit to fight back has been best on account of the BJP, and therefore the last 2-3 days wherein the organizational strength and the candidate profiles and the leadership impact will be visible, I think one should not be surprised that the party with the better organizational employment will have the day.
So BJP does seem to be counting on its OBC strength in a state that has 21% tribal population and around 7% Muslim population. Professor Sanjay Kumar, how is BJP's Hindutva pitch playing out? It has not given a single ticket to a Muslim candidate, nor it has a prominent tribal face. And the incident of urination on a tribal man, is that still, recent in public memory that can have electoral ramifications? Or do you think that the people do not blame the Shivraj Singh government for what happened?
So with regard to the incident which you mentioned and about the tribal vote, I think that was an incident which took place few months ago. There was hue and cry about that incident at that time, but I don't think this is an election issue. If you travel across Madhya Pradesh, if you travel to different places, I don't think people are talking about that. And if tribal vote is not coming to BJP's fold in such a large number as BJP would have expected, it's not because of that incident that, tribals are moving away. There are several other reasons. Basically, socioeconomic, the kind of development tribal would have expected, that's not coming to their fold. That is one of the reasons why tribals are not voting for BJP in such a large number as they had expected. About the Muslim vote, not surprising. This is a state where Muslims are not in sizable numbers, 7%, 8% Muslim population, and that too in pockets. Some constituencies in Bhopal, some constituencies in Indore and Burhanpur. So these are some of the constituencies where Muslims are in sizable number. This is a strategy BJP has been applying in various other states, even in UP, even in Rajasthan, in some other state. So it's not surprising that BJP has never banked on the Muslim vote. They don't want to bank on the Muslim vote. Hindus are in such a large majority. And both the parties are trying to play the Hindu card. Congress is not far behind if you look at the strategy to mobilize or woo the Hindu voters, or woo the voters in the name of being Hindu. Because large number of voters are Hindu, so all the political parties are trying to woo the Hindu voters. But it's all about the strategy. So if you look at the strategy, I think Congress is as using the tools or the EDMs as sharply as BJP is trying to use to mobilize voters on the Hindu card. So nothing new is being, or nothing aggressive is being done by BJP just to counter Congress model. So I think the elections are more poised in the interest of BJP. It is they have to project more about the schemes, and what Vikas was also mentioning that if you look at the schemes. So I keep saying that if you look at the 3 states or the 4 states, I get a sense that it's not the political parties which are contesting election, it's the schemes which are contesting election. So schemes are being pushed by all the political parties that, this is what I have given it to you, to the people. So going back to your question, Heena, that I don't see a very aggressive Hindutva campaign by BJP as we see in some of the states. I don't get that sense, but maybe Vikas or Sajjan would have a better sense because they are on the field. I have not been to the field. I look at the data. That's my way of looking at politics or understanding the elections.
Dr. Vikas, Dr. Sajjan, is Hindutva an agenda in this election?
In Madhya Pradesh, so far as the BJP's campaign is concerned, it does not seem to be so. Because as I said, the campaign is being led by Shivraj Singh Chauhan without the party wanting him to lead that. And at the same time, the other, big guns of the BJP, they are trying their best to perform well in their respective areas because their entire career depends on this. Let's not forget, if there's a carrot and a stick. The carrot is possible chief ministership. The stick is that you don't even get the ticket again in 2024. So that might be the end of it. So in that sense, Shivraj is very clear that he wants to project the mama image, the maternal uncle and the bhaiya image. And that is his prime campaign thrust. And not just that, as I told you, I attended a roadshow of Shivraj Singh Chauhan in Jabalpur cantonment. And on the stage, there were several women, but he made it a point to have 3 burqa-clad women there, right in the front row. So, which is very clear that he is not going on a Hindutva pitch at all. However, when you talk to people on the ground, particularly OBCs, because, I traveled in the Mahakaushal region, which has got a very heavy OBC presence, apart from tribal presence also. So, there were some people who were supporting the BJP or supporting Modi for 2024. When you ask them why, one of the things they say is Ram Temple. So there is, there's soft Hindutva mixed with many other feelings on the ground among people. But the BJP's campaign in Madhya Pradesh does not seem to be picking that up. Unlike, I would say, there's a constituency in 2 constituencies in Chhattisgarh. One is Kavardha and the other is the one in which Ishwar Sahu is standing. Sajjan. In these two constituencies, the BJP has employed and deployed a very strong Hindutva pitch, because in one, Muhammad Akbar is the Congress candidate, and there's a BJP campaign that Rohingya Muslims have been settled, which is they are going hammer and tongs on it. That is also where Himanta Biswa Sharma said that where one Akbar comes, 100 Akbars come. And in Saja, this person who was lynched, there was a riot and there was a lynching. His father has been fielded. In order to have a soft Hindutva or a hard Hindutva thing. But in Madhya Pradesh, I did not sense that at all.
Yeah, adding to that, in Madhya Pradesh, certainly it's not there. In Chhattisgarh, in some pockets, when BJP almost seems to be lagging behind the Congress, there is an attempt to invoke Hindutva, and Kavarda and Saja are two constituency, but the narrative that BJP is trying among many. But there also you find, after that they didn't see it working, then they shifted to the scam and the corruption charges against the Bhupesh Baghel. But one thing is unique particular about Madhya Pradesh. Mind it, Hindutva doesn't need to be peddled by BJP. It's a societal factor, and one has to accept it that people on the ground, have a soft corner for things which is linked politically to the discourse of Hindutva, and that is why when you go and talk to the people, and despite anti-incumbency, despite some sort of anger, there will be some sort of, anxiety among the people that if BJP is to lose power, then some sort of campaign against Hindu or something is happening in other parts of country. That may also happen. Madhya Pradesh also has been a hub of not only BJP but also RSS, and particularly into the Malwa region, Mahakaushal region, they have been working. So therefore, in society and particularly among the OBC, and this may seem to many counterintuitive, but it is among the tribals and Dalits, it is not that central. Among the upper caste, it is both there, but there is also a tactical reason. But it is among the OBCs who may be voting for party A or B. But when it comes to the question of soft corner for Hindutva or the issues related to Hindutva, Madhya Pradesh is one of the regions where you find its resonance from Bhopal to the peripheries. And that is why, even Kamal Nath, is leaving no stone unturned, from Baba Bageshwar Dham to all sorts of claiming, and Vikas's story, wherein he claimed that it was the Rajiv Gandhi who should be credited for building Ram Temple because he was the one to, get the locked open, So that is why in Madhya Pradesh, Hindutva is something which is already there, But BJP on its part, we do not see trying to employ the issue as a central plank or mobilizational plank. It is right there. Elections are being fought around competing schemes, competing policy outreaches. And therefore, while the chief minister is trying to outreach through gender, related schemes, the youths are feeling a bit disillusioned. And then Scindia is there, who is expected to tour across. Then you have farmers, then you have tribals, you have Dalits. So that is why among them, Hindutva is seemingly seen as taking a backseat behind so many other policy outreach.
The Congress did manage to form the government in 2018, but it was very unceremoniously ousted. Does that remain a factor? Do people have pro-Congress sympathy because of what occurred? And one of the reasons that it did happen was because Jyotiraditya Scindia moved to BJP, and Congress had won 26 seats in that area. But now that many of the loyalists of Jyotiraditya Scindia have moved back to Congress, do you think factionalism in BJP and this pro-Congress sympathy might also factor in how the voters' choice?
So if you ask me, people are aware of that, they still remember that, but there does not seem to be a specific sympathy for Kamal Nath on that count. In fact, I was a bit surprised around Narsinghpur in the Gotegaon assembly seat. I was talking to some people who said that the BJP will eventually form the government, perhaps in MP also, and then at the center also. And the person, without batting an eyelid, said that anyway Kamal Nath had got a chance, but all that he could do was 15 months and BJP formed the government again. So they are really good at that, and they will do it again. So the person said it emotionlessly. So there was no feeling, it did not seem to be any feeling of Kamal Nath having been wronged. Let us not forget another thing also. Why that narrative does not work in MP? is that in MP, if you see the two political parties, their leadership styles have been different. The leadership of the Congress in MP has always been extremely elite in social terms, while the leadership of the BJP, right since the days of Uma Bharti or Sundarlal Patwa, all those days, Babulal Gaur and then Shivraj Singh Chauhan, has been largely, semi-rural OBC, right? So a sense of sympathy sometimes among women for Shivraj you can sense and he plays it to the hilt. He has gone to public meetings and said, "मेरे जैसा भाई दोबारा नहीं मिलेगा, जाऊंगा तो याद करोगे." But in the case of Kamal Nath, Kamal Nath or Digvijay Singh or formerly Jyotiraditya Scindia, who is now with the BJP, it is very difficult to sympathize with them in a state like that where there is poverty also, because Scindia is now in the BJP, but not the face of the BJP. He's the Maharaja. Digvijay Singh is called Raja Saab. And Kamal Nath is also known to be extremely rich and influential in Chhindwara. So, to generate a sympathy factor, there has to be a vulnerability factor also. Somehow, the Congress leadership of Madhya Pradesh does not exude any vulnerability for a proper sympathy to come in.
And adding to that also, mind it, the image of Digvijay Singh may be a very good politician within the party for the workers, for the cadres, but to the general people, he still is a baggage. He is not someone who can add any vote, but certainly if he becomes hyperactive, that will lead to kind of a distancing, and particularly among the OBCs, because remember, OBCs have a distinct memory, and 2003 still is not so far when they remember when Chhattisgarh was lost, a tribal state which used to be the bastion of Congress. Mind it, Chhattisgarh always used to give maximum Congress MLAs, which used to lead to the Congress forming government into a united Madhya Pradesh. He tried to compensate the loss of tribal votes to the Congress by winning over the Dalits in a big way, because BSP was the challenger in 2003. And for that, what he did, he had Bhopal Declaration, came up with so many kind of schemes for Dalits. But one cardinal scheme that antagonized the OBCs, who constitute majority of the peasants, that he tried to acquire the government lands who for generation have been plowed and owned by the peasants, primarily by the OBCs. So he's trying to take those lands away from the OBC farmers and distribute it among the Dalits, So Digvijay Singh is one who is extremely and still unpopular among the OBCs, because that memory is there, and in front of him, BJP has fielded a firebrand Hindutva, women, and the OBC leader Uma Bharti. And that sort of conversation you find across Madhya Pradesh among the OBC. So one, that is there. Two, with regard to the Kamal Nath, his impact in Chhindwara, that too confined into the Lok Sabha. In assembly election, Kamal Nath has never guaranteed, except 2018, because there was some sort of a sentiment, winning Chhindwara district assembly constituencies to the fold of the Congress. So therefore, 15 months versus 18 years campaign that was there 2-3 months ago was primarily people's fatigue, and therefore Congress was seemingly having a perception edge. But now there is nothing, because if you go to Chhattisgarh, the farm loan waiver is an issue which is giving clear edge to Bhupesh Bagel's image, to the Congress image. But the same claim by Kamal Nath that we gave 29 lakh farmers loan waiver who had taken loans from the cooperative banks, somehow you do not see the exact resonance on the ground. So therefore, as was articulated, the sympathy factor that the Congress government was wronged, doesn't seem to be a case on the ground. But side by side, there is also the expectation that Scindia coming to the fold of BJP will add to the fortune of BJP somehow also doesn't seem to reflect as was expected. Because if you go into the Chambal, Gwalior, Bundelkhand region, coming of Scindia and his support base has further complicated the factional fight within the BJP. So therefore, that way they neutralize each other. But certainly, you do not find that the Congress was wronged and therefore their ouster was a wrong part on part of BJP and Scindia betrayed. These are not the issue that is bothering the people on the ground.
Now, before we conclude the discussion, I would request the panelists to throw light upon what ramification will the fate of Madhya Pradesh have for national politics and for general elections in 2024. We begin with Professor Sanjay Kumar.
National ramification of the results of 2023 in Madhya Pradesh. I think very little. There could be two possibilities. Congress wins Madhya Pradesh or BJP wins Madhya Pradesh. In either of the cases, it is not going to improve the electoral prospects of Congress for the 2024 elections in Madhya Pradesh in a big way. My own sense is that if I have to put it just hypothetically put some numbers, I think the best performance for Congress for 2024 Lok Sabha elections in Madhya Pradesh would be winning 4 or 5 seats, maybe 6, not beyond that. That's, in my assessment, would be the best performance Congress could expect from Madhya Pradesh for the 2024 elections, even if Congress, wins Madhya Pradesh, even if it wins with a sizable number. That's my assessment of what is going to be the impact of the verdict of 2023 for the verdict for 2024 in Madhya Pradesh.
Dr. Vikas?
Yeah, I would agree with Professor Sanjay Kumar, because I made it a point, because we have to tailor our reporting to the needs of the times. So I made it a point this time in North Chhattisgarh as well as Mahakoshal region of Madhya Pradesh and Bhopal also, to ask people, when I used to discuss with them, I would also pose the question, what about 2024? So while the refrain generally is that takkar ka mamla hai in assembly, in fact, I've done a story today which has got published in the Indian Express. All through these, as Sajjan said, and Professor Kumar also said, Muslim population is very low in Madhya Pradesh. So Madhya Pradesh, in that sense, is largely an OBC state with some belts of tribals. So when I pose the question about 2024, only one person in 8 days said that MP election result will determine Lok Sabha. Everyone else said it is Modi in Lok Sabha. And not just that, a new trend has begun, which also I kind of reported, that Yogi Adityanath is being discussed both in Chhattisgarh and MP, particularly among the Hindus and OBCs, out of context. So it seems he is more popular in Chhattisgarh among OBCs than Bhupesh Baghel is, very clearly. And he is clearly more popular than both Shivraj Singh Chauhan and Kamal Nath taken together in Madhya Pradesh. So that is another side trend which is coming, and which is very strange, because generally people either talk about the state or the national level. They don't talk about the chief minister of another state, but that is happening. But so far as Narendra Modi is concerned, I think it is a very clear-cut answer without confusion that 90% people give that it is Modi in 2024. So I don't think there's any impact of this.
Yeah, I mean, completely agree, because this is something which you find it's so obvious, because people's it's not just a differential voting that people have different logic. I mean, suddenly you find that people have a split personality. And besides Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, even in Rajasthan, when you find a great segment of OBCs having some sort of resonance with Gehlot because of the popular scheme, suddenly you find, what about 2021? And suddenly they will take a fraction of second break and they say 24 Modi. And you talk to the same set of people about the assembly elections, it's very difficult to determine what's the impact of BJP, governance, all sort of issues come. The moment you talk about 2024, they all seems to peddling the one narrative, and this goes against the Congress and the leadership. So that is why I do not think that irrespective of the verdict, it is going to have much resonance or impact on the outcome of the 2024, because this is something wherein people have already made up their mind.
Thank you so much for joining us today and giving us your valuable insights. And let's see